So if you say something that you say that you do think you have a good reason, or you just I don't know, I guess call me stupid or something, I'll go ahead and just invite you up. The phone lines are gonna get open in a second. Just give me a second, y'all, because I just want to make sure that I'm good and I'm live where I'm supposed to be live at. All right, cool. So I'm good. I'm live where I'm supposed to be live at. I'm just gonna go ahead and open the phone lines here in a second. I'm start the show and open up the phone lines here in a moment. What's going on, y'all? What's going on, Green Valley? Hey, I appreciate you all being here. You all see the phone number on the screen. All right, y'all see the phone number on the screen. All right, y'all see the phone number on the screen. Y'all could go ahead and join in. What it is. Yeah, I agree that the that God is a delusion.
You are connected as the host. Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
All right. So phone lines are open now, guys. The phone lines are open now. So like I said, if you disagree with what I have on the board or you would like to discuss what I have on the board, go ahead and come in. I would definitely love to talk to you. We can go ahead and have a good discussion.
Hello?
How's it going? Who's calling?
This is the best man ever, Trustable.
Trustable. How's it going, Trustable? Are you at least 18? And
Yes, sir.
do you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Yeah, I can give you a good reason to believe in a God.
Sure. What's that reason?
Okay. So have you ever just been in a Little Caesars? I'm just curious.
Been in a Little Caesars? Yeah.
Little Caesars is the greatest pizza to ever grace a tongue, and only something of higher being could make that. It bless our earth with it.
All right. Yeah, sure. I'm sure. I appreciate you, Trustable.
Have a good day.
You too. Oh man. All right, y'all. So like I said, I appreciate y'all. Y'all phone lines is open. Y'all go ahead and start coming on in. Hey, what's going on, y'all? If you watch me over on YouTube, shout out to you. If you watch me over on Facebook, shout out to you. If you're watching over on Twitch, shout out to you. I appreciate everybody who can who would like to discuss with me. The phone lines are open. The phone lines are open. So if you would like to call in and have this discussion with me, you can. You can also request here on the on right on the screen as well. Y'all go ahead and hit the likes, y'all. Hit the likes. Please hit the likes. Let's go ahead and start getting this out there. Let's go ahead and start actually, let me join from the bigger screen. Y'all go ahead and start getting this out there, y'all. Start hitting those likes. If you are a Christian or just someone who believes in a God, you don't necessarily have to be Christian, but if you're someone who believes in a God, I would definitely still like to talk to you. If you could give me a good reason to believe in a God, that would be wonderful. Go ahead and come on through and we can talk definitely. Switch the account real quick. All right, there's a whole bunch of y'all in here. I know you all don't agree. You see, usually that's probably why I started doing the politics ones, because usually when I do the one on politics, I get a whole bunch of people in here, of course, calling me stupid, because because of my political positions. But that's all good and well, man. Like I still like to talk to anybody who would love to have a chat, would love to have a discussion. Shout out to Harris watching me over on the Deconstruction Junction YouTube. Yo, what's going on, y'all? So people are rolling into my Volcy Thoughts channel. Definitely appreciate that. We're still waiting on any callers or on anybody who would like to speak over on the TikTok. We're just here waiting, y'all. We're just chilling. Hope we all had a good day today. Hope you had a good day today and a even better weekend. Now, my week didn't go too well. I did have a family member that passed away, unfortunately. So my weekend didn't go too. My week isn't going too great, but I decided to go ahead and come on and still do my hobby, still stream. All right. So for the people over on the YouTube asking me if I believe in a God, the answer is no. I don't believe in a God. And the the call-in line is right over here. All right, Messenger, go ahead and come on up, Messenger. The Messenger, you can either come on up or you can call into the phone line. If you don't know what the Bible, spiritually study esoteric wisdom, astrology, numerology, and psychology. Well, I'm currently in a course right now for clinical mental health counseling, which has a lot of psychology in it. All right. And for the people over on the YouTube, I see y'all are, speaking over there, but if you want to discuss with me and want to ask me a question, the call-in line is right here. The call-in line is right here. All right. So you can definitely go ahead and call in. All right. Funny and insightful over on my YouTube. Call-in line is right here if you would like to have a talk. So right now, y'all, we're just waiting for guests to come in. We're just waiting for people to call and talk. Yeah, I appreciate all the condolences, y'all. So unfortunately, it's just one of those things. I always say check on your health. Yeah, always check on your health because it could be the smallest thing that you don't even know is wrong, and it could take you out really quick. That happens. It could take you out really quick. It could be the smallest thing, and that's what happened to my cousin. It was the smallest thing, and it was just too late to do anything about it. Unfortunately, it spread more, and it was too late to do anything about it. So y'all remember just to always check on your health. All right, always check on your health. All right, y'all. Keep hitting those likes. Keep hitting those likes. Keep hitting those likes. Once again, Volcy Thoughts here. Where today is gonna be a religious discussion. All last week I was doing politics. And I already know the main not the main event, but the main story nowadays is today is y'all see what happened with ICE. Go Canes, fuck ICE. That's the type of timing I'm on. Go Canes, fuck ICE. Because ICE at the moment are just a bunch of masked individuals who I doubt are trained at all. So it's like, fuck them. You know what I mean? All right, y'all. So, like I said, if you would like to discuss, go ahead and call up. I do see here someone saying certain religions are a good moral baseline. All right. So, if you think certain religions are a good moral baseline, go ahead and call in and let me know why you think that is. Like I said, y'all, phone number's right here. Phone number's right here. You can definitely go ahead and call in and talk to me. Legacy says, I'm guessing. I'm not sure what you think I'm guessing about. Hey, Skeptical. How's it going, Skeptical? Yeah, shout out to Skeptical, y'all. Check out her Etsy store. She has some t-shirts on there. I love Skeptical's designs. Her t-shirt is amazing. So definitely check out Skeptical. All right, we got a caller. How's it going? Who's
Hello?
calling?
Are you the YouTuber?
Yes, I am a YouTuber.
Oh, no way! Yeah, I just got in chat with the YouTuber.
All right, hey kid, are you over 18?
What?
Are you at least 18?
No, you're not 18.
All right.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Who's calling?
This is me.
Can I have your name, please, for the stream?
Oh, yeah, Christopher. I'm sorry.
Not a problem. How's it going, Christopher? Are you at least 18? And can you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Yes, I'm 26. The reason I believe in God because they hate all the niggers.
Mm-hmm.
Every last one of them, and burn them to the stake.
Are you mad at me because like I'm smashing your mom and your sister? Is that the reason?
Oh, you can go ahead and smash them. I don't care. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
your
cool.
first comeback. Really.
Great. So what's the reason to believe in a God?
Stupid nigger.
Yeah, I know, man. Like I'm so dumb that you called in to speak to my smooth voice and my handsome face. Is it because I get too many white women? Is that the reason?
I'm busting right now.
Yeah, I
I'm
know,
busting
man.
right now.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of the blonde hair, the gingers. They all love me. They all love my chocolatey skin. Does that make you obsessed? Is that the reason?
Yeah, baby.
Right. Cool. Is that all you got? Is that it?
Are you in your basement right now? Where are you at, man?
I'm in my house, a house that you can't afford.
In the basement, though.
Nah. I'm in a nice neighborhood, one that you can never afford because you're so worried about all the black people in the world instead of improving your life.
Yeah, you know a lot about me, obviously.
Yeah, I definitely do because you called in to hurl racial slurs at some anonymous person that you have no idea about for no reason at all.
Another one incoming. Get your glove, nigger. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I also caught that. You know what I mean? Because I know it must make you so mad that your mom and your sisters are all over this chocolatey penis. Like it must make you so upset. Got anything else?
Sure. Like I said, man, you're more than welcome to.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on, y'all. So I appreciate y'all for all being here. Y'all go ahead and keep calling in. I do appreciate it. Let's go ahead. What's going on, Burns? What's up with you, bro? All right, so I'm going to let y'all know that all right, so Goofy, again, you're chatting in the comments. I'm gonna tell you again, go ahead and call in because for some reason, I don't know why, you just like to chat in the comments, but call in. Go ahead and call in. All right, so of course I'm gonna go ahead and get the racists, y'all. That's always gonna happen. I'm always gonna get the racists, but it's all good and well. You know what I mean? We'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and get in. The racists always come through. Yeah, I mean the racists always come through because for some reason they always mad that that I get on for some reason. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just so handsome that it gets them upset. You know, my chocolatey goodness makes them angry, makes them enraged. But we're still go ahead and waiting for a call in. If you're over on the TikTok, you can go ahead and hit the request button. The request button is right there. And if you're over on the YouTube, the Twitch, or the Facebook, you can also call in. All right, we got a guest over on the TikTok. Hey, how's it going? I'm sorry, what is your name?
War Platypus.
Platypus, how's it going, Platypus? Are you at least 18? And can you give me a reason to believe in a God?
Yeah, I'm over 18, and yeah, I think I can give you a reason to believe in a God.
All right, cool. What's that reason?
I think that probably the most important thing is like believing in a God gives you a higher purpose. And if you don't believe in any God and you believe we're just rearranged star stuff from the universe, then that means that this life has no meaning. There's no purpose to this life. And in 100 years from now, no one's going to remember that you even existed or what you cared about or your fears or your dreams. And if that's the way you look at life, then you have to admit that your life is meaningless.
I mean, no, my life is not meaningless because I give meaning to my parents. I give meanings to my wife and my friends. When we have children one day, I'm definitely going to give meaning to my children, right? So we can make our own meaning.
But
we
your
can
life
make our,
will
hold on,
end.
let me finish. We can make our own meaning. We don't have to have anything over us to make the meaning for us. I think that cheapens your meaning if you do that. I think if you make your own meaning, that means it's something that you desire and something that you would like to make. As long as it's not harming anybody else, then you can make your own meaning. I don't see a reason to make to have some sort of supernatural being make a meaning for you.
Well, you see, as a person who believes in God and believes in an afterlife, my life has a meaning, and it has an eternal meaning, because what I do in this life that makes a difference whether I go to heaven or hell, for example. But in your case, as an atheist, you're just, like I said, rearranged star stuff. Yeah, you might give meaning to your parents or your future kids, but eventually you will die. They will die, and that meaning that you're talking about will extinguish from the earth forever.
So will you?
No, because I believe in a God. I believe in a higher power. I believe in heaven. So the meaning of my life is transcends this world. It's eternal.
Wait, so
your meaning is determined by the people around you who
yes,
care
of course.
about you.
Yes, yeah, that's a good thing. But the other thing that I would say is that you said that your meaning is eternal because you believe in a God or in a heaven. You can't prove a God or heaven exists in the first place. So how do you know that meaning even exists?
Well, your prompt says, "Give me a good reason to believe in my God." So
yes,
the good reason I'm giving you is that my God gives me an eternal meaning to life. It's not determined by the lifespan of your parents and the kids you have. And let's say you don't have kids. Well, what then? Will your life have less meaning if you don't have children?
Because I'm going to become a therapist. So that means that the people whose lives I help out with their mental health problems, I'm going to give meaning to their lives, right? The issue that I'm having with your entire explanation is you're saying that if I don't believe in your God, then my life is meaningless. That's not necessarily true, right? Because even if your God exists, even if your God exists, me not believing in it doesn't mean I don't have any meaning anymore.
Okay, so let's say you tonight you go out to dinner with someone you care about and you both die in an accident. Did your life have meaning?
Yes.
Well, what meaning did it have?
It had meaning to my parents because I was a good son to them. It had meaning to my sisters because I was a good brother to them. It had meaning to my wife because I married her and made a good life together. It had meaning to my co-workers because I helped them out while I was at work. It had meaning to my nephew because I helped raise him. It had meaning to my niece because I helped raise her. It had meaning to my uncles, my aunts, my friends, my family. All of them had meaning.
And once all those people pass away, what meaning will your life have had?
That's it. You realize that the people who lived 100 years ago, unless they were really, really famous, they don't have any more meaning, right? Like, for example, Einstein lived 100 years ago. We still know about Einstein and Newton and all those guys today because they affected humanity in a huge way. But most of us are not going to impact the way that Einstein, Isaac Newton, or even Tesla, or what's that guy's name? The rich guy right now. What's his name? Shit, the richest guy in the world. Elon Musk, there we go. Even he has an impact on humanity that we will never have. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, are you saying that just because those guys existed and the rest of us are not going to have the impact that they have, therefore we have no meaning? That's nonsense.
No, that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. That's your argument. That's the logical conclusion of what you.
No, it's not.
Because you just said it. You just literally made the argument. You just said that because those people had lives that had impacted other people and they're going to be important, then their meaning still exists. But you just said most people aren't like that, which I assume you're including yourself in that.
Well, yeah, I'm including myself in that.
In 100 years, your life isn't going to matter. You're admitting to it.
No. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that
You just said that.
Hold on. What I'm saying is that in 100 years from now, you're also going to be forgotten. Most of us will, unless we impact humanity in some sort of huge way, like
Right.
Tesla, like Einstein, like Isaac Newton, like Alexander the Great. Unless you impact humanity in some huge way, everyone is going to be forgotten in 100 years.
Yeah,
everyone.
but the good reason.
That doesn't mean. Hold on.
to
That doesn't
believe
mean.
in
That
my
doesn't
God-
mean. That doesn't mean that their lives had more meaning than mine. It doesn't mean that. It just means that they were
Right.
famous. Michael Jackson is going to be remembered 100 years from now, and I'm not. That doesn't mean that Michael Jackson has more meaning than me.
You just defined the what meaning means to you as the effect or the memory or the goodwill you've created around other human beings.
Right.
That's
correct.
your definition of it. So your meaning ends once
The
those
people I impact
are
die.
gone.
Correct.
Yeah, and then your meaning is extinguished forever. My
So does
meaning
yours.
is transcendent. No, I believe in a soul. I believe my soul continues after this life.
Does
my
my s-
meaning is eternal.
Okay, I got you.
Because I
Does my
believe in
soul?
an eternal life
Let me ask you a
after
question.
this life. So
Let me ask you a
do you
question. Hold on. Let me ask you a
are
question. Let me just
understanding what I'm
ask you.
saying?
Let me just ask you a question. Do I have a soul too?
Well, no, you don't believe in God.
Wait. So me not believing mean I don't have a soul?
Well, if you don't believe, wait a minute. Now you're confusing me.
No, I
You're
know
an
you're
atheist,
confused.
correct?
I'm asking you, do I
Are
have a
you an
soul?
atheist?
I'm asking you, under your worldview, do I have a soul?
Well, I'm a Christian, so I believe everyone has a soul.
Correct. So great. So
Right.
if you say that your meaning transcends it because you have a soul that's gonna go somewhere, doesn't that mean under your worldview, I also have a soul that's gonna go somewhere?
Yeah, I believe that.
So that means that my meaning will also transcend me, according to your worldview.
So you're saying
No, according
you're saying there's
I'm
an
asking.
advantage
No,
to
listen,
my
listen,
belief
listen. No.
system.
That's not what I'm saying.
I agree.
That's not what
You're
I'm
right.
saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm
Totally,
saying no. I'm saying.
Thank you for admitting that.
No. Platypus, you need to be quiet and listen, bro. I'm saying, even according to your worldview, what you said earlier is wrong, because you're the one who
you
said.
don't have a soul?
If you interrupt one more time, I'm just gonna drop you, bro. You're the one who said that because you have a soul, you the meaning transcends this life, and you said that because I don't believe, my meaning is going to stop. However, under your worldview, if I also have a soul, even according to you, my meaning still goes on. But you said it didn't. So which one is it?
I think you're the one that is confusing yourself.
No, I'm not.
Your prompt. Yeah, I let you speak. Your prompt says, "Give me one good reason to believe in your God." I am telling you the good reason to believe in my God.
It's not a good reason,
because it gives your life. It gives your life meaning.
But I already have that.
Even you are now saying. Even you are now saying, "Oh yeah, well guess what? I have a soul too."
That's not what I'm saying.
As an atheist,
Platypus,
you cannot believe. You don't believe in souls.
Platypus.
So
You're very confused.
I'm giving you a good reason to believe in souls.
Platypus. You're very confused and you're not tracking. Let me help you out here, okay? Number one, you didn't give me a good reason. You just said that that the good reason is because we have souls that's going to transcend. You can't prove that.
No, that wasn't it.
But number two, but you said, yeah, it gives your life meaning. We can give our own meaning. We don't have to believe in God's type of meaning. That's number one. But the second thing, let me finish. You said yes, and so does yours. That's what you're not getting.
No, because I have a soul.
Do I have a soul?
I believe I have a soul.
Do I have a soul?
Okay, CJ, as an atheist, you don't believe you have a soul.
Do I have a soul? Yes or no?
I believe you have a soul.
So even according to you, my meaning won't stop then. Even according to you.
So you do
that's what you're saying. That's no, I'm not saying I believe I have a soul.
Do you believe
Platypus. I'm gonna need you to actually be quiet and track what I'm saying, bro, because you're not tracking at all. According to your argument, according to your argument, believing in the God gives you a meaning because we have a soul or whatever. What I'm trying to say is we can have a meaning without that. And number two, you can't prove that a God or souls or any of that even exists. But number three, even if they did exist, according to you, that means that I also have a meaning. So when you said that my meaning is going to stop when I die, according to you, you're wrong. But according to me, since we cannot prove that none of us have a soul, and there's no evidence of this to believe so. The meaning that we make is the meaning that we have in this life is the meaning that we make. And even if that meaning stops when we die, irrelevant, because Alexander the Great, right? He had meaning in his life, but he died. Those people who were around him, they also died. So the meaning that he had no longer exists. He's just famous. That's all we know about him. That doesn't mean he has a meaning. Alexander doesn't mean shit. Alexander the Great doesn't mean shit to me. He's just famous.
So what if God bring you back?
Not your turn.
So we're talking about beliefs, not what it actually is. We're not. I'm not making like a.
Okay, so can you go ahead and prove a soul
to prove that souls exist?
All right,
your prompt says, "Give me a good reason to believe." We're talking about.
You didn't give me one.
Not facts.
And you didn't give me one. And you didn't give me one, bro. That's the thing. You didn't give me one.
I just did. I gave you.
No, you did.
Are we supposed to convince you?
It's better.
That's what's supposed to believe. That's what's supposed to get. That's a good reason. But
yeah, because
you can't prove. Hold on. If you don't have evidence of something, how is that a good reason? If you don't have evidence of it,
because it's belief. Can you believe that the soul doesn't exist?
Can I believe the soul doesn't exist? That doesn't make any sense. That's not how belief works.
Proof? Do you have proof?
I have no evidence.
The soul does not exist.
No, that's not how that works.
Okay, so there
you can't prove a negative.
We're both in the same situation.
No, we're not. You're the one making a claim. Yeah. I'm not making a claim.
Yeah, you said you don't believe we have souls, right?
Right. That's not a claim.
Do you believe we have souls? I'm asking you.
No, that's not a claim.
Okay, you're making a claim. Souls
no, it's not.
Exist.
No, it's not. That's not a claim.
Okay, all right.
That's not
so
how
you
that
answer
works.
the question, and you're not making a claim. I got it.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to one of our callers. Appreciate you all being here. Go ahead and keep liking the live and keep sharing. Y'all keep liking the live, keep sharing. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to one of our callers, calling over from 203. How's it going? What's your name? And
yo, what's up? What's the word?
Chilling. What is your name? And can you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
My mother named me Richie, and my name is City Towers.
Oh, City Towers. Hey, how's it going, bro? Like, I haven't seen you battle in a while. When's your next battle?
I battled 3 times last year, man. You know, won all 3 of them things. You know
okay.
30,000 views, 40,000 views, 2 of them.
Got you. Like I remember the first time I saw you was on. My bad. Yeah, we're not talking about that. All right.
We ain't talking about that. But hold on. So you arguing? I just want to make sure I'm clear because I think I might have misunderstood. You arguing that there is no God at all? Is that your argument?
I'm not saying that there is no God at all. I just don't have any evidence to believe in one, so I don't believe it.
Okay, got you. So your argument is against religion or the concept of God? Because I'm very much, just so you are clear on my stance, I'm very much against religion. I think religion is convoluted and slightly ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But I do believe in a higher power and a God.
All right, cool. Yeah. So I don't believe in a God at all because, like any God concepts, because there's no evidence that they exist, neither supernatural things, none of that, right? We all have stories. Like I think City, if I'm not mistaken, you're Puerto Rican.
I am.
You're Puerto Rico. Okay. Yeah. So like us, right? I'm Haitian. So we're from the Caribbean. We all know that our parents and our grandparents always had stories and stuff like that. So it's
sure.
we all have that, you know, like Santa Raya and voodoo and all that good stuff. But I have no evidence to show that stuff is actually real or true. So there's no reason to believe it. Like if I told you I had $1 billion in the Bahamas, you're not gonna believe that just because I told you, right?
Well, I think the belief in a power that's larger than us is a lot different from the belief in a random one entity, right? So like saying there's one specific entity that controls things in comparison to there is a power that is spread larger than us. Those are 2 different conversations, right? So I don't believe in the concept of one God. You know, I was raised Catholic. I'm nowhere near Catholic, but I was raised Catholic. In Catholicism, the very first law is there is only one God, which is a wild amount of arrogance in my personal opinion. And mind you, I'll give a disclaimer before I even speak further. I don't know anything. That's the one thing I'm aware of, is that I don't know anything, right? So from that perspective, I don't think that if there was one specific God, his main objective would be to tell niggas that he's the only one. Right? I don't think that would be where he comes from, especially if love is such a potent force in this earth, right? Okay. So, but what I can tell you is this: what I can tell you is this: is from my personal experience and from what I've seen, there is something stronger than us, and I don't think it's one specific thing, but I do think it's a set rule, a set amount of rules that have been cast upon our existence, our plane of existence, rather, and those things are more powerful than one individual.
Okay.
So, and that's why I love the Bible. I love the Bible, even though I think probably 80% of it is stupid, but it's written in so much truth. It's riddled with truth, and then the rest of it gets really confusing. But and that's the power of truth, is that you only really need a little bit of it. Because once you have a little bit of truth and you can relate to people and you can extend your message and really get people to understand, like, oh man, that's so powerful. I know that one thing to be true. You can convince them of 20 things that are not true, because that one thing is so powerful. Okay. And I think that's why the Bible does such a good job, is because it has so much truth in it that the 80-90% of it that's just plain old bullshit, in my personal opinion, it gets kind of like clustered into the little bit of it that is actually true.
Gotcha. Okay, so I can say two things towards that, right? When it comes to the Bible, I can say, yeah, you can find a lot of things in there that are true and some good lessons. I think the same thing about the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Torah. I mean, that's it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Torah. Yeah, you can find wisdom in all the holy texts, because these are people who dedicated their lives to improving their humanity, basically. So I could give it that, right? The thing about me is that I view the Bible more as allegory and like historical fiction. Like, they name real places and even real people, but are the stories around them true? No, I don't believe that. It's like how you said 90% of it is basically crap. But when it comes to either like a higher power, I don't have a lot of beef with the whole higher power concept, because then that gets into like how you were explaining, how we're just put in this plane existence, we're following certain rules. That's basically like the laws of physics. If people wanted to say that like physics or quantum mechanics in of itself is basically the quote unquote higher power that we follow, I don't have much of a beef with that. The only thing I'll criticize like the most is the concept of this all-knowing being who put us here for a certain purpose, and then left the entire universe basically empty or something like that. You know what I mean? And basically the religious concept. That's the ones that I have an issue with.
Yeah. So
especially
let me ask
hyper
you this,
religion.
Right? So devil's advocate, because once again, I'm not hyper religious. So I think to the vast majority, we're on the same page, right? But what I'll tell you is this, right? If somebody gave you, let's just say hypothetically, if somebody gave you a set rules to abide by, right? And that entity, person, whatever you want to call it, let's actually make it very humane. If a person gave you 3 rules, right? They said, don't do this, please do that, and try your best to make this happen. Right, just for general consensus of understanding, very simple instruction. Right, please do this, don't do that. Try your best to do this. Right, and then one person received that and said, "Man, it's like I don't like authority, and they're trying to tell me to do this, and I don't want to do that. What if I want to do that? And what if later on in life I decide I think this is good for me, and like I feel like that's so restrictive." And then the other person says, I got you, no problem. I can do that. I can not do that, and I'll do my very best to do that. Who would you want to hang around?
That depends.
You'd want to be around the person that I mean, please.
That it really depends, because like, let's say that I would have to look at the person's like rules, and number one, look at the rules, and number two, the person who wants to follow all the rules, I have to see if they're a critical thinker. So like the second person you're saying, saying, oh, I don't want to follow this because later in my life this and this, that, and the third, that shows me that they're thinking more than a person who just wants to be dogmatic and follow anything that somebody tells them. So it will really depend.
All right. Well, all right. So let me make it more basic.
Sure.
If you were dealing with 2 women and you're I don't know what your poison is, but let's say your poison was getting your dick sucked. That was your favorite thing in the world. And and you were like, I'm very happy to get my dick sucked twice a week. I'm content with that. ideology. That's good with me.
Mhm.
And one of the girls said, absolutely, I got you. And she proved through and through over a course of time that she's willing to do that for you twice a week.
Mhm.
And then the other girl, maybe she did it for a little while, and she does it with some complaints, you know what I'm saying? And she says, oh, she's tired and blah, blah, blah. Who do you lean towards?
Yeah, I'll probably lean towards the one that if it's getting ahead is really important to me, then yeah, I'll probably lean towards her. Sure.
So I think that's how the concepts of the universe work. These are solid concepts. They're going to work towards your advantage, but they also have sacrifice. And I think that through life, we learn everything comes with sacrifice, right? Nobody likes to go to the gym, but if you go to the gym every day, you get fit, right? Nobody likes to eat healthy, right? There's, artificial sugars and dyes, they taste a lot better, but if you eat healthy over a period of time, they're more beneficial for you, right? Everybody likes sluts. They're the best things in the world until they have to be your wife, right? The mother of your children. Then all of a sudden, sluts, they're not really that great, right? But the opposite of that, right? A quote unquote good girl, she comes with caveats as well, right? Because her demands are higher and X, Y, and Z, right? So as above, so below. It always has to be. I think the concept of God is simple as, well, you have to be able to sacrifice. I want this very badly. Then there's going to is in the concept of, hey, there's these universal laws. I don't know why they work. I can't tell you because, once again, my disclaimer, I don't fucking know anything. But these things do work to a certain extent. There's ancient script. There's meditations by Marcus Aurelius comes up, right?
Okay,
the 40 laws of power comes up.
But
The art of war comes up.
So, City, when it comes to
real quick, just please go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so like when it comes to all this, right? Like all this is good and well, but it doesn't really get me to a God, like I was saying before, because it's like I understand that there are.
Well, let me bring you back to my preface, which I don't believe in one entity being God, but I do believe in the concept of universal laws that are God, the same way that Egyptian mythology would say that there were several gods.
Right.
I think I'm closer to that, even though I don't believe in that either. But I think I'm closer to that. There are some universal laws that if you want to say whoever set, I don't think it's a one specific entity, because I also think that's a humanoid ideology. We're so small that we think things have to be created, or we think that one thing has to have some kind of influence onto it.
So City, that's what I'm saying. These universal laws are really just the laws of physics. There really doesn't have to be like some sort of entity or entities behind it making it happen, right? These could just be natural forces.
What's the difference? Hold on, wait. I write down something.
Say that again.
A label.
Wait, say that again.
A label, right? What's the difference between physics and God?
Oh, the difference between physics and God, like physics is basically what we use to describe the universe, and the label of God is the thing that's behind the entire reason why we exist, and like some anthropomorphic being. It's really just how you were saying, a label. You know what I mean? But I think when it comes to physics, we don't need more labels.
So maybe you like me. Yeah, so maybe you like me simply don't like the word God, because I don't like the word God, because I feel like the connotation brings me to a place where it's more convoluted, right? It starts getting very confusing once you start using the word God. So maybe your actual plight is with the word. I know for myself personally, that's mine.
Is God conscious?
That's my actual plight.
Hey,
so
give me a second.
I would like to say something.
Hold on, give me a second. I'm sorry. Give me a second, because you can't hear them, but they can hear you. So give me a second. All right. So everybody on my TikTok, the caller cannot hear y'all. All right.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I forgot to mention that to you. Y'all, the caller can't hear y'all. Y'all gonna be able to hear him, but he's not gonna be able to hear y'all, which is why he was talking while y'all were talking. All right. So just give me a second. I'm gonna get to y'all. Promise. We do got two callers in the queue. The one calling from 954 and the one calling from 585. I'm gonna get to y'all, but I have to get to the TikTok first, and then I'm gonna get to the call queue. Okay. Just stay on hold for me. I promise I'm gonna get to y'all. All right. But City, we're at about 15 minutes. I do got.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, man, we could actually chop it up. It doesn't really matter what anybody believes, because we're all specks of dust over time. I really love the way you said nobody remembers anybody or actually appreciates them, right? All the famous people over time, you might know their name, but do you actually lose sleep or actually, does it pertain to your everyday life? No, of course not, right?
Right.
So I'll leave you with this. The most powerful thing you can do in the universe, in my personal opinion, is to love. And if you can lead with love as most consistently as you can, then you are the living contribution to what God should be. Not what it is, not what we might understand it as, but
What
if
it
you
should
can
be.
live on your everyday basis leaning towards love, then religion don't matter, being right don't matter. You're doing what should be in the same course of the understanding that you want. And if it's more important to you to be religious and say, I'm right because I'm Muslim or Catholic or whatever, then you're probably just a fucking idiot. Try your very best to be nice to people. Be kind to people. Don't be a doormat neither, but do your very best to take care of the people that can't take care of themselves. I think that's my closing thought. So I appreciate your time, bro. I appreciate your platform. I'm definitely gonna tune in more often. This is fire.
Definitely. I can hear you. That was City Towers.
Hey, hold on.
Him in battle rap. I do appreciate y'all. All right. So give me a second. All right. First, because Baldwin was here and Real Gentleman was here. Baldwin, how's it going, Baldwin? Are you at least 18? And
yes.
Right. Do you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God, or are you a friendly?
No, I believe in God. I can give you a reason.
Gotcha.
Well, but
give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
All right, no problem.
Real Gentleman, how's it going? Are you at least 18? And did you want to give me a good reason to believe in a God?
I would like to give you a good reason. Well, not a reason to believe in God, but
Gotcha. Stay on hold for me. Appreciate you. And Bitter Truth. Have we talked before, Bitter Truth?
I think one time before. Yeah, one time.
Like, are you a friendly of mine or?
No.
Okay, gotcha. Not a problem. No, not a problem. I remember you now. All right, cool. Hold on for me real quick. I'm gonna start off with Baldwin first. 954 and 585. You guys can hear me. Go ahead and stay on hold. I do appreciate y'all being here. I'm just gonna go ahead and talk to Baldwin first. I get 954. Then I'm gonna talk to Real Gentleman. Then I'm gonna talk to 585. Then Bitter Truth. All right, we're gonna go ahead and run through this. So Baldwin is first. Bald, I'm going to put 15 minutes on the clock. Can you give me what is a good reason you think I should believe in a God?
Right. So before we get started, do you take logical proofs?
I'm not even sure what that would mean.
It would mean that if something exists, then existence exists, right? You don't need any physical evidence for that. It's just a logical proof.
Yeah, I guess so. If something exists, then it exists, sure.
Right. So you take logic to be a proof. Okay. So, premise number one. We'll go premise by premise. If you agree, great. We'll move to the next.
I ain't doing that. I am not doing that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just not doing it. All right. I'll get to you. Real quick. Real Gentleman. Let me just talk to 954. 954. How's it going? Are you at least 18? And can you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Yeah, I'm 30. 33.
Cool. Can you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Yeah, I can.
I'm sorry. I didn't get your name. What was your name?
So, my name is Jeffrey. We actually know each other from MOC.
Oh, MOC. Yo, what's going on, bro?
What's up?
Yeah, I forgot. What's going on, Jeff? Hey, you wasn't there for New Year's Eve, were you?
No.
Yeah, bro. Like when I went back to the church, bro, I saw a lot of people not there anymore. I'm sorry, y'all. This is someone I grew. This is someone I grew up with. Let me just talk to him for a second. But yeah, but when's the last time you've been to MOC? Because when I went there for New Year's Eve,
no. I did. I did go there.
Oh, you did? Okay, I must have missed you then.
But I went at I want to say 9:30.
Oh, okay. You went at 9:30, so you weren't there. So you must have left before you went up there to pray.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't see you. Yeah, that's why I didn't see her, because I showed up like at 10. I bought my fiance, bro. So you might have that's why you didn't see her. All right, but anyway, let's go ahead and keep talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's go keep talking. So Jeff, what you think is a good reason to believe in? As you can see, I went way left than what everybody else in the church went. So I don't believe in a God anymore, bro. And that's kind of my journey. So what's the good reason do you think I should believe in a God again?
Are you speaking to me?
Oh no, not you, Real Gentleman. I'm talking to the phone.
So I'm not even gonna get into like religion, to be honest with you, or all that stuff, or the Bible. But I'm just gonna point to equilibrium, the solar system, and all that stuff. I'm gonna ask questions and on it. And my thing is, I look at the sun. Like the Earth is placed in a perfect spot where it's not too close to the sun, not too far away from the sun, right? You got man and woman that can create another human being, and you have a whole bunch of other species that can do it underwater and above water, right? You have water that is essential for the human body. You have sodium. You have all the type of electrolytes that is essential for us. Do you believe that all of that was created by coincidence or by mistake?
Yeah,
that you don't think that there is a higher being, a higher thing up there that created all of this, right? Let's just say that you're not a religious person, right? Or you know what? Let me go back. Some people believe in a star. They believe that a star is a god, right? The sun is also a star, right? Without the sun, there's no life. You're not going to get, the grass is going to die. You're going to die. Everything is going to die without the sun.
Correct.
So, right. So I just pointed to that one thing. So some people, a sun a star is a god, right? Who created that star? It's just, there's just levels to it. I just kind of find it hard to believe that, no matter what you choose to believe, no matter what you choose to believe, you can't just say that we just kind of made it here out of coincidence.
All right, cool.
We discovered electricity.
Gotcha. All right. So Jeffrey, here's the thing. No one said it happened by accident, right? These everything that you're describing can be explained with physics and chemistry. So physics and chemistry aren't accidents. They're just, chemistry is basically applied physics, and physics is basically quantum mechanics, right? So all these things have lower pieces and higher pieces to them. But like, no one says it happens by accident. That's number one. But number two, just because it wasn't, on an accident or whatever, that doesn't necessarily mean that there must have been some sort of higher being that put it all into place. There's no evidence of that. We have to actually have evidence that there was something that's there to put it in a higher place, because all of these can just be natural processes that we don't understand. Like, for example, in ancient times, people thought that lightning was a being, right? Like the ancient Chinese thought that thunder and lightning were dragons. The ancient Greeks thought that thunder and lightning was Zeus. Our ancestors, the Africans, they thought thunder and lightning was Shango or Orgun. They thought it was those gods. But is thunder and lightning any of those things? No, it's just, ions and sound waves. You feel what I'm saying? It's not any of those things. So those people were just using, those beings, those gods, to explain something that they didn't understand. So when it comes to the entire universe and our existence, all of this can just be natural processes that we don't understand. Because if you think about it, every single thing that we discovered about our universe, everything that we know about our universe, and we don't know a lot, but the things that we do know, every single one of them, none of them have a supernatural explanation. None of them have ever been spirits. None of them have ever been ghosts. None of them have ever been gods, mermaids, fairies, none of that. None of it has ever been a supernatural explanation, anything that we know about, right? So why would existence in of itself need a supernatural explanation? It really doesn't. It could just be something natural that we don't know or don't understand yet.
But let me ask you a question. What is supernatural to you, then?
Supernatural is a nigger, bro. It means a nigger playing basketball.
Supernatural to me is something that is outside the realm of what we know of reality. Like, for example, if someone say they can fly, right? Like, that's supernatural. Like Superman would be a supernatural being, because that's not something that humans can naturally do, lift off the ground and fly in the air, or like something, or be bulletproof or something like that. Those are supernatural things. You know what I mean? Or like when we were young and we used to watch, Goku going Super Saiyan. That's supernatural, because human beings can't naturally do those things, right? So anything outside of our natural means is supernatural.
Okay, but wouldn't that mean that space in of itself is supernatural, even though you tell me that there are tools that can explain what's out there, but wouldn't you say that supernatural is in and of itself? We can't live in space. We never actually physically touch space with our skin, but we know it's there and it's endless.
Yeah, we
That's
do.
proven,
you
right?
do. You're taking on space right now.
Outer space. Okay, let me say outer space.
Outer space. We've been to outer space.
Now I'm saying we've been to outer space, but we can't touch it with our skin. You can't put somebody in outer space without proper gear or whatever. Wouldn't?
Yeah, because space is a vacuum.
Why can't I say that outer space? Yeah, but why can't I say that? Just like you said, Goku turned into Super Saiyan, right? Let's just say if I was able to turn into a Super Saiyan, you would be able to explain with science why I'm able to turn to Super Saiyan or whatever it is, right? You agreed that that's supernatural.
Yeah, because then
right?
no, because now that would be a natural phenomenon of our planet, because we can actually examine it and explain it and everything like that. Same thing with space. We can examine it and explain it, all that good stuff.
Even though we've never touched every corner of space.
We never touched every corner of space, and I don't think we ever will. It's doubtful that me and you will even live to see us get out the solar system, right? So, like, I don't think that me and you would live to the point where human beings make it out of the solar system. But that doesn't mean that outside of the solar system is supernatural. For example, you brought up before that how Earth is within the habitable zone of our star. There are other planets out there that are within the habitable zone of our star, and we can like examine it and see it. Like, we'll never get there because they're like 7 light years away, and for us to travel like 1 light year will take thousands of years. We'll never see it, but that doesn't mean just because we'll never see it and we'll never touch it doesn't mean that all of a sudden it's supernatural. It's still there.
So, all right, let me ask you one last question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you explain a fire that can never be extinguished? Do you think that's just science? Like, I believe that science is just a tool to be able to examine or explain something. But how do you explain a fire that can never be extinguished?
I've never heard of such a thing.
The sun.
The sun is on fire.
The sun.
The sun is on fire.
You said the sun is. Okay, so it's producing heat that never extinguish.
It's going to extinguish one day. It'll take 1 billion years, but it's going to extinguish.
How do you know it's going to take 1 billion years?
Because that's how hydrogen fusion works. You have to talk to an astrophysicist, because I can only give you the bare minimum of what it means. But essentially, hydrogen fusion, the sun is plasma. That's the first thing. It's not fire, it's plasma. But plasma is a certain state that it's very difficult to understand. But basically, that's how the sun is fusing hydrogen within its core. And with the size of the sun and how long hydrogen takes to fuse, it'll take basically that amount of time. Take about 1 billion years. So it's going to extinguish, because we know supernovas happen, right? Like we see them out in the universe, so we know there is going to happen.
So okay, one last question. I know I'm running out of time. So one last question. You said that the scientist has kind of predicted when it's going to extinguish.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that that they for sure know when the sun was actually created to give an actual timestamp that it's going to be extinguished in 1 billion years? I don't even think that they know. So it's not. There's no conclusion there.
They can give a rough estimate based on basically mathematics. Again, this is something that you got to talk to a physicist about, because I'm gonna be out of my depth. I can't give you that specific concrete answer. But essentially, what the sun is made out of, its chemistry and everything like that, they can give a certain a rough estimate on when it got formed and when it will extinguish, because stellar science is pretty difficult. I would suggest talking to someone. His name is Dr. Blitz. He's on TikTok. He's a physicist. He knows about this type of stuff, and he can tell you how they can. Hey, thanks for the hat and mustache. He can tell you exactly how they figured out when the sun was formed and how they figured out when it will be extinguished. I wouldn't be able to give you much of that answer, but it has to do a lot to do with cosmology, stellar science, and physics, basically.
Okay. Well, hopefully what I said, gets you thinking a little bit, but
not a problem.
That's all I have.
I got you. Hey, I appreciate you, Jeff. I might pass by MOC. Well, I'm gonna be in Miami next weekend because I have a funeral to go to. But yeah, I hope I see you soon. Remember I'll pass by MOC again, probably Easter.
All right, cool.
I appreciate you, bro. All right, guys, I do appreciate y'all being here. All right, so real gentlemen, I'm gonna get to you next, and then I'll talk to President after that. Actually, after real gentlemen, I got to talk to the 585 number. 585, go ahead and stay with me. 201, I see you in the queue, and 786, I also see you in the queue. I'm going to go ahead and get back to you guys. Give me 1 second, y'all. I gotta drain the crack in, y'all. Give me 1 second. I've been drinking water all day, so give me a second, y'all. I'll be right back. Appreciate y'all. All right, I appreciate y'all. Right, we all back. And how's it going, real gentlemen? You did tell me that you are over 18, and you do think you can give me a good reason to believe in a God. What is that reason? Real gentlemen, you're on mute. I invite you to unmute.
Okay, hold on. Hello, can I still mute it?
No, you're not. You're not muted now. All right.
Okay.
So, what's the good reason to believe in a God?
Well, the good reason to believe in God is that we know that everything exists through an intelligent design, right?
We don't know that.
I mean, okay, so let's look at it. Let's break it down. So we know that they are in physics, we know that they are constants, right? Of nature. These are numbers, right? That cannot be altered, that if you alter them anyway, nothing would, the whole atomic structure, mass, none of these things will cease to exist, right?
So you're talking about fine tuning?
Fine tuning, exactly.
Okay, so the issue with fine tuning is that a lot of people misunderstand it. When it comes to fine tuning, like those physical constants, they all have to change. Like now, of course, if you change one of the constants and keep all of them the same, things are going to go haywire, right? So like the other constants have to change, and the other constants are going to change, and they have to change, right? Because that's not really how physics works. If you change one constant, all the other ones are going to change with it. What's been found out when they do experiments in mathematical models is that when you change all the constants as well, you can still get a stable universe. You can still get stable atoms, all that good stuff. It's just that a lot of people misunderstand what fine tuning means. It's fine tuned for what we have to exist, but that doesn't mean that those are the only things that can exist. You can go ahead and change those parameters all you want, and atoms and all that can still exist just fine.
Okay, but and I would say this, and you could create that argument, but you have to admit that discovery presents a new problem, right? The fact that modern science generally perceives everything by explaining it, how everything works, right? Most physicists, they have a theory for everything. But when you break down everything to its most minor molecules, you still have no theory for fine tuning. You still have no theory for these numbers and how to explain how these numbers exist. What we do, okay, so how do you explain these constants, these numbers, these 25 or so numbers? How do you explain the numbers?
What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean by that. How do you when you say how do you explain the numbers? What does that mean? Like how do you explain why existence is the way that it is?
No, why are these numbers so precise mathematically the way that they are?
They're not.
They are.
No, they're not.
So they're not a random order.
Yes, they are.
You do know that. They're not a random order.
They're completely random because, like I said, if you change those constants altogether, you can still have stable atoms in a stable universe. You can change it. It's just that the ones we have now. Hold on. Listen. It's just that the ones we have now are the ones that we ended up with. But that doesn't mean if they change, if all of them change, doesn't mean that we're going to be unstable all of a sudden. You can still have a stable universe and stable atoms.
Well, where is the theory in that? Like, I don't see where.
Right, it was done through mathematical model. I forgot the name of the scientist who did it, but yeah, it was done through mathematical models, and he found out you can change those constants and still have a stable universe.
Okay, my second point was to piggyback off the constant situation. Everything that we see in life, right? You know, and I'm gonna just break this. I'm not gonna go too in depth scientifically, but we do know that as we observe life, as we observe the universe, everything within the existence of this universe and seems to support man's life on Earth, right? You know, everything that we could think about, the how the Earth tilts around the sun, how many times it goes around the sun, the reflection of the sun on the earth, the amount of heat that gets off, everything that we know in the universe seems to exist to support men living life here on earth. Right? Because if some of these things did not exist, there would be no human population. So my whole theory is that there has to be an intelligent design to this, right? Because there's a cause and there's effect. It's like the carpenter in the chair, right? You see the chair, but the carpenter built the chair, and he built the chair for a purpose, correct? Mm-hmm. So you see the chair, but that doesn't mean you know who the carpenter is that built the chair. But the carpenter, he designed the chair, you know, with specific purpose in mind. So we know that there's nothing exists just on its own for no reason at all. Everything in our universe, everything in our life has a purpose.
Gotcha. All right. So when it comes to when you said that that everything on Earth seems to exist for
everything in the universe,
everything in the universe seems to, well, now you're gonna have a bigger problem. But let's just go to the universe. When you say everything in the universe seems geared towards human development,
existence, it supports human existence.
Right. That's wrong, because Pluto doesn't. Pluto is simply an ice ball out there in the Kuiper Belt. It has nothing to do with human existence.
So
but let's hold on. Let me just finish. If Pluto wasn't in the position that it was, Earth would be fine. All right. So it's like, let me finish, bro. If Pluto didn't exist, Earth would be fine. If Pluto was in another position, like let's say that it switched places with Mars, Earth would still be fine. Mars is another example. Mars has nothing to do with how Earth is, right? So it's like these things have nothing to do with us. So that's when you say the entire universe, you're kind of overshooting yourself, because think about the Kepler 2b. I forgot what Kepler 2b, yeah, Kepler. So Kepler is like 6 light years away from us. That has nothing to do with how the Earth formed. You see what I'm saying? So you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot when you say the whole universe. But let's just go and get to Earth. Even when you just do Earth, you still have a major problem, right? Because human beings need water to survive. The Earth is 75% water, and it's poisonous to us. The Earth also has earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, natural things that kill thousands of people a year. The Earth is constantly trying to kill us. So how is it built for us when it's constantly trying to kill us?
Okay, and that even proves the point even more, right? The Earth is trying to kill us, like as you say, right? But we are still here, right?
Yeah, because humans were able to build things to survive. Hold on. So let me say. So yeah, we're still here, right? We're still here. Hold on. So humans are still here. Ants are still here. Roaches are still here. So that means that the Earth was also built for the roaches.
No, can roaches build buildings? Can roaches send?
Of course, they're not smart as us.
Out of space, right?
They're not smart as us. Of course, they're not. But simply saying that the Earth is built for us, just saying that the Earth is built for us because we evolved to be more intelligent than all the other animals, It's
Did we
kind of
evolve
ridiculous.
So if we evolve to be more intelligent to the point to we master the earth, right? Why haven't all these other animals evolved to the same degree?
Well, we haven't mastered the earth yet. That's number one. But number
Well,
two,
not master the earth, but to the point to where we consume the earth, right? We consume the land.
we're
We
the
build
dominant
buildings.
species. Right, we're
We're the dominant species,
right? We're the dominant species.
So
the reason
why haven't the other?
Because the other reason why they haven't is number one, we became a dominant species. But number two, our environment was more conducive to having intelligence, to having bigger brains, to having abstract thought. We had to have that in order to survive.
What about
in our
chimpanzees? Why
chimpanzees can have
we share
abstract
99% genetic?
I'm explaining. So
Okay, go ahead.
chimpanzees, from what we know, they do have some abstract thought, but their environment didn't force them to have the type of abstract thoughts and knowledge exchange that we had, because they stayed in their environment. The chimpanzees, they were in the jungles, in the trees. We were in the savannah. Right. So because we were in the savannah and we were standing upright, we had to speak to each other, right? We had to shout. We had to understand that there were predators around, which is why we have forward-facing eyes and that we understand what faces are. We had to develop all that because it was.
So can I ask you a question
about our environment?
So are you saying if the chimpanzees were in the sub-Sahara, that they would be the dominant species?
Yeah, actually we remember we shared a common ancestor with chimpanzees. Right. So they were at a certain point, Homo sapiens were more like chimpanzees. Yeah. But because our family, our troop, maybe a couple of thousands of us went out to the savannah while they stayed in the trees, that's why we diverged.
So wait, let me get this right. So you're saying that the only reason why the humans aren't as intelligent we are, right? And let's not even like the fact that we're able to have a consciousness, right? We are aware of each other, we're aware of our environment, we have dreams, we think beyond what we can actually physically see, right? We know that there are humans who said, okay, well, I want to know what it's like to fly. They invented planes, right? Mm-hmm. Or how to move faster. We have the ability to do those things. There's no other species on Earth, right, that have the power to do those things, right? Because we have intelligence, right? And what intelligence does, it creates things, right? It creates things with a design and a purpose. What I'm saying to you is that when you look at the Earth, you look at the sun, the moon, the stars, the universe, right? It seems to me that it's created with an intelligent design and purpose.
How do you show that to be true?
If there is an intelligence that created our intelligence in the way we think, just imagine how more powerful and intelligent that being, or if it's not a being, or maybe it's a collective, I don't know, right? But we do know that there is an intelligent purpose behind it. Because nothing is this without purpose.
But the thing is, when you say that, you're just claiming it without actually showing how that's true. You're simply saying that. Hold on, let me finish. Okay. You're simply saying that, but and the thing is, what's crazy about that is that's circular reasoning. You're saying that we exist and these things are advantageous to us, therefore it was created for us to exist. That's circular reasoning. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you had to actually show that those things were created for us with a purpose for us in the first place. Because while the sun is an advantage to us because we can't survive without the sun, neither can any other thing on this planet. Nothing can survive without the sun, right? So if that's the case, your argument could also be made that the sun was made for lions, the sun was made for roaches, the sun was made for mosquitoes, because none of them will survive without it. You see what I'm saying? But you're kind of saying that because it
was made for roaches and lions and mosquitoes.
All right, so now you have to show. Hold on, wait. Now you have to show that the sun was actually created by some sort of intelligent being. How do you do that?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you how you do it. Right? We know that the sun has a beginning. Right? There was a creation to the sun.
First, the sun was formed. Nothing. Yeah,
sun was formed. First, there was nothing, and then there was something. So how do you create something out of nothing?
You can't.
Right? You can't, right? How do you put a bunch of ingredients in a box and shake them up randomly, and they just form together and form Earth and Mars and Sun and stars and all? No,
right,
that doesn't happen.
This isn't really showing me how something actually created it, bro. We know that things. Hold on, we know that things.
What I'm saying to you,
we know that things. We know that things can be formed through natural processes. For example, rain. Rain forms through 100% natural processes. There's nobody out there putting the hydrogen and oxygen molecules together in order to make rain. That doesn't happen. Rain just forms. Hold on, wait. Let me finish. Rain just forms naturally, right? You don't need someone interfering in it. So when we talk about things like the sun and the universe, why do you think that we need some sort of supernatural interference in order to make it, and not a natural process that we don't understand? Because again, nothing that we can nothing that we know about our universe has a supernatural explanation. None of it.
Okay, so you're asking me a question. The reason, and you mentioned rain, right? No one controls rain. You're right. But what I was talking about is the laws and the constants that give us rain, that give us the universe, that give us humans. All of these things are a fine science. This is why we have science, right? These things are not random, and there's no way that anybody can believe. When we look at our universe, when we look at human beings in proximity to every other species, when we look at the way that the earth moves, there's no way that anyone cannot deduce that this is an intelligent creation.
Wait, how do
there's no way that you can wait.
Gentlemen, hold on, gentlemen. The reason I'm not letting you finish.
Let me finish.
Gentlemen, hold on. The reason I'm letting you finish is because you keep repeating yourself. You just keep saying that the universe. Hold on. Let me finish. You just keep saying,
but you're not letting me land.
The reason why I'm not is because you just repeated yourself over again, bro.
Okay,
you're not actually showing. You're not actually showing. You're not actually showing. You're not actually showing how you know these things were not just completely random.
Because you asked me the question. You asked me the question.
I answered. No, but you just repeated yourself. Because you made a.
You can't dictate my answer, right?
I'm not trying to dictate your answer. What I'm trying to say is that you're simply repeating yourself. I heard what you said already. You're not giving me evidence.
All right,
hold on. Listen to what I'm saying. You're not actually giving me evidence that this universe was created by something. You're simply saying that because these things seem designed to me, therefore it must have been designed. How do you actually prove that? Because again, we don't have another universe to explore. This is the only universe that we have.
Right.
So how do you know that this universe was designed, and you can point to another universe and say that one is not designed? You have nothing to compare it to.
But okay. Let me land. All right. The way that you know is that I told you in the beginning, because things are created, things have a beginning.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on because I'm tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. All right, so President, I'm gonna get you in a second, but I do have a lot of people on the call queue. I'm gonna go ahead and get to them first, President, and I'm gonna get to you. All right, so it's gonna be 201, and there's gonna be 786, and then I'm gonna talk to President, and it's gonna be 945. Once again, y'all, I do appreciate y'all. Go ahead and keep liking the live, y'all. We're only at 5K likes on the TikTok. Let's get us to 7K, please. Let's get up to 7K. Let's get up to 7K within the next 7 minutes. I know that we can do it. We are capable. Keep on liking that live. I do really appreciate y'all. All right, 201. Can I have your name, age, and can you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Hey, man, how you doing tonight, brother? My name is Dion. I'm 58 years old.
All right, and can you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Yes, as a matter of fact, if you had 2 minutes you could spare, I could prove the existence of God.
All right, sure. I'm going to go ahead and put 15 minutes on the clock. What you got?
Don't don't hold me to the times. They're about 2 minutes. All right, check it out. I'm going to ask you a few questions, all right?
Sure.
And they're rhetorical, so you can just smile and nod. I can't see you. I'm just on the phone. Okay, let's see. You're temporary, right? As before your birth, you didn't exist on Earth, and after your death, you won't be here anymore. Common sense. You were caused to be here by your parents, who were also temporary, God bless them. And they were caused to be here by your grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great all the way back to the first of the series, many coming from few. This is all common sense. Adam and Eve situation, if you will. Primordial ooze, whatever blows your hair back. Every animal on Earth is temporary. Hold up. Every animal on Earth is temporary.
Correct.
Correct? They were and caused by the previous temporary thing.
Correct.
Trees drop seeds that become trees that drop seeds. As a matter of fact, everything on Earth, the Earth itself, 4.5 billion years ago, it had yet to congeal. There was no Earth. This is a quiet universe, right?
Correct.
For us, anyway. And in 4.5 billion years from now, the outer walls of our sun are heating and expanding. And it's going to eat Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, right? So, we're about middle age, like me, if I live to be 116. But everything in the universe is temporary and caused by the previous temporary thing. And if you go back in time, many coming from few, you pull it back to you come to the very first temporary thing, the singularity. Big Bang Theory is the conventional wisdom across the board, pretty much. So that means before the very first temporary thing, there was nothing. Not a photon, not a Planck length of anything, nothing. Absolute nothing. And if you ever had nothing, absolute nothing, you would still have nothing because you can't get something from absolute nothing. Correct. Okay, that means the very first temporary thing had to create itself, in which case it would have had to exist before itself in order to create itself.
All right, so
and
Dion,
that's impossible.
Hey, Dion.
So let me just finish. I'm almost done. Everybody cuts me off.
I got you, Dion. But
everybody cuts me off.
I got you, Dion. But we kind of have to get to the point here. What are you trying to say?
Okay, here's the point. I have one more line. I have one last line. Could have been done already. That means there had to have been instilled as one constant, always existing, everlasting force, energy, entity, being with the imagination, willingness, and capability to create the very first thing and everything after that, all the laws of the universe. Now, that very first temporary thing, we call God. It's our creator. It doesn't prove who or what he is exactly, only that he is. And if you think about it, and you really think about it, is there any other way it could possibly be?
Yes.
If you're honest with yourself, no.
Yes,
there's no other way.
Yes, it could be. It could be a natural process that we simply don't understand yet.
Oh, that's a cop out.
No, it's not.
Everything is temporary. It's a temporary.
Dion. So Dion. We all know things. Dion. We all know things are temporary, right? That's not what's in dispute here. What's in dispute is that what's in dispute is that you're claiming that the thing that made the universe, or whatever made the Big Bang happen, must have been some being that's not temporary and caused it. You're simply doing one of the same apologist arguments that we hear constantly all the time. You cannot show that to be true.
I'm not apologizing for anything.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Can you prove it to? Can you prove it to be untrue?
Okay. I'm gonna mute you for a second because you need to stop interrupting. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that sure, we can go ahead and keep going back and back and back and back and back. Now you keep on saying that there has to be something like this whole being thing that created everything, right? And that's what you call God. You need to actually show that being exists. You just can't deduce that there must have been a being, because there could be a plethora of other options that we don't even think about yet. And the option that I could think about is a natural process that we don't understand. Because everything that we know about our universe is always a natural process that we don't understand. There's never been a supernatural explanation for anything that we know. Nothing. So why would the existence of the universe itself need a supernatural explanation?
Would you like me to do it numerically?
What do you mean?
I could do it in a different way. Numerically, it's even quicker.
What does that mean?
Using numbers, odds. It's very simple.
Hold on. You said using odds?
Check it. Yes.
How are you using odds? How are you using odds? Are you comparing us to another universe?
No, there's one universe, one.
Right.
One
exactly.
Verse, one
exactly.
happening,
So
one.
you can't
Okay,
use. So you can't
yes,
use.
I can. There it is.
You can't use odds.
They figured out.
You cannot use odds, and you can't use propositions. You can't use any of those because those things require comparisons. If you're gonna make an odds comparison, if you're gonna make a claim about odds, you need to have a comparison, and you don't have that. You already admitted that we only have one universe. You're off mute now.
Okay, you can hear me. Mathematicians have calculated what the odds are of you personally existing anywhere in the universe in any way, and the odds are this: you have two dice. One dice is called a die. It's got 6 sides, right? You would need a 1 trillion sided die to be about the size of our sun. and you would have to roll the same number 22,000 times in a row in order for you to exist. 875,329,463,207. And roll that number 22,000 times in a row. That's the odds on you or any one individual person ever existing anywhere in the universe. It's impossible. It wouldn't happen and couldn't happen. There's no way. But yet, here you are. Here I am. That proves it can't be by chance. It must be by design.
All right. That claim is impossible to prove. Very impossible to prove.
Okay.
It's impossible to prove because, again, they're not comparing that to anything else. What did they compare it to in order to come up with those odds?
I'm not the mathematician that came up with it.
Exactly. That's because he's making shit up.
Can I say one?
hold on. Dion, hold on. Dion. The mathematician is a Christian apologist who's making shit up. In order to come up with some odds, you have to compare it to something. And he's never been able to compare it to anything because, again, we only have one universe. And we only have one human race. Okay. So what did he compare it to?
Okay, can I say one thing? Without comparison or numbers. What I found is there's many ways I could do it, but it doesn't seem to go anywhere. It's not that people don't believe in God. It's that they don't want to, because then it brings about accountability.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on. Still talking about accountability. The fuck. All right, guys. I do appreciate y'all for being here. We're gonna move over to President Spooner. We're gonna move to President Spooner next. Before I do that, y'all go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Volcy Thoughts. Is the same thing as my TikTok channel. And my go ahead and follow the Deconstruction Junction as well. Shout out to everybody who's over on the Deconstruction Junction. And over on my Facebook and Twitch, you guys are wonderful over there as well. I appreciate y'all. What's going on, bro? I see you in the comments over on my Facebook. And I appreciate y'all. Hey, thanks for the hat and mustache, y'all. Go ahead and keep the gifts rolling. I'm almost at the give goal, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and get there soon. If anyone could tag Holly Brooks, I blocked her by accident, but I just unblocked her. Go ahead and tag her again so she can come back to the live. Sorry about that, y'all. Anyway, hey, we got another hat and mustache. I appreciate that. And we hit the gift goal. W chat, we hit the gift goal. I do appreciate that. W chat. Over on the Deconstruction Junction, I appreciate y'all. Y'all go ahead and keep the talks going. Over on my YouTube, we're getting those likes up. We're getting the views up. I appreciate y'all being there as well. Y'all go ahead and call in. I have 2 calls in the queue. I have 786 and 945. I do apologize for y'all being there for a while, but I'm going to talk to President Spooner. President Spooner, are you at least 18? And do you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God? President Spooner, are you at least 18? And do you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God? All right. We're going to go ahead and move on to the phone number 786. 786 is from my city. I already know. All right, 786. Can I have your name, age, and do you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God? Hey, you on live? Yo, 786, you on live? Still there? All right. We're going to go ahead and move on to 945 786. If you want to go ahead and call back, go ahead and call back. 945, how's it going? Are you at least 18? And do you think you give me good reasons to believe in a God?
Yes, sir. And I can try as long as you're open.
Cool. And can I have your name, please, just so we can get the live going?
Joel.
You said Joel?
Yeah, Joel.
Joel. All right, Joel. All right, Joel. How's it going, Joel? What is that good reason to believe in a God, in your opinion?
So, first off, let me state I don't believe in the conventional God, meaning the God of the Bible. So I know of that God. That's the God that, if you was raised Christian, that was taught. But the Bible is not the end all be all. There's other sources for you to gain knowledge inside of the reality we live in.
Mm-hmm.
You can use science, you can use other religions. There's plenty of resources. But anyway, so the God of the Bible, I look at him as the ignorant God. He doesn't know much of what's above him,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that just goes because of just the inconsistencies in the Bible of how like he just makes mistakes and he's supposed to be all perfect and all knowing and whatever. And not only that, he plays with us as humanity with the devil as his adversary, and you know, the game is whether we sin or we, you know, praise God or whatever and go heaven or hell. But the way I believe in God is more so of the force of what drives reality and what gave us the ability to be alive and experience reality. You get what I'm saying? And he gave us everything necessary for that to be.
Okay. I am not sure what any of that means. So you're saying that God is basically us waking up?
It's no, we're living because of that force of what we are, our language only conceive of as God, but God is actual force that drives reality.
Does the force have?
Why we live.
Does the force have a will? What is this force that you're saying
will,
exists?
the force is what gives us the option of the will.
The force is what gives us the option of the will. I'm honestly not sure what that even means, bro.
Hold on, just let it marinate. Say it again.
No, I'm not gonna let it marinate. That shit don't make no sense. What the force is the thing that gives us the will? What does that mean?
It gives you the option to do what thy will. Basically, like, okay, the fact that we're having a conversation using English language to communicate to each other, and you get what I'm saying?
No,
go back and forth.
No, I don't get what you're saying, like, at all.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I guess I gotta dumb it down some more. I don't understand. Like, I'm saying it pretty simple and clear. It's more so you're not open to it.
No, it's not that I'm not open to it. What you're saying doesn't make any sense.
So what don't you get then?
You're simply because the problem is that you're using word salad. Basically, you're basically saying I have a burger, water bottle 3. Those are words, so that doesn't mean they make sense.
I understand that. Okay, but just tell me what you don't understand, like specifically.
You said that the force is the ability for us to contact the will. Is that what you said?
No. The force is the reason you're living is okay. So you know what a soul is, right?
All right. You have to actually show souls exist. Can you show souls exist?
Okay, but listen. Do you know what a soul is?
I understand what a soul is, right? I grew up Christian. I understand what a soul is.
Do you know how?
So hold on. Listen to my question. Listen to my question real quick. Listen to my question real quick. Listen to my question real quick. No. You can listen to me. Listen to my question real quick. I understand what a soul is. What I'm trying to ask you is, how do you actually prove we have a soul? That's the question. You're off mute now. You can talk.
Okay, you said what?
Okay, I understand what a soul is, right? I have a concept. I have an idea what a soul is. What I'm trying to ask you is, how do you actually show that this soul thing is actually real? How do you prove it?
I'm saying though, it's so simple. The fact that we're interacting with each other.
Okay, so our interactions don't prove a soul. Saying that our interaction proves a soul is like saying, hold on, saying, hold on, listen. Saying our interactions prove a soul is like saying our interactions prove dragons. All right, those are not the same thing. You need to actually show that a soul exists first. Us talking to each other doesn't mean that a soul exists.
Example that you use, right? So check this out, right? The fact that a dragon is not a real entity, but it's a word and it can be translated through many different languages, it is apparent. You get what I'm saying? It's not an actual creature or entity, but it is a mystical creature.
It's an idea. Yeah, it's an idea that we have in our head. Correct. Yeah, a dragon is an idea that we had that people had in their heads, right? But hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. That's why I keep muting you. Yes, a dragon is an idea that we have in our head, but that doesn't mean that dragons are real. So a soul is an idea that we have in our head. That doesn't mean that souls are real. You actually have to show these things are real first.
But the fact that it's apparent, that's what I'm saying.
It's not apparent, bro. It's not apparent at all.
Right.
It's abstract. It's
so
not apparent.
That you're talking right now and that you're living and that you're breathing.
No, it's
not apparent.
That's not apparent. That's a fact.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it's a fact that hold on. You're not tracking, bro. You just keep muting. You just keep trying to talk over me, and you're not tracking what I'm saying. A dragon is not apparent. All right, it's not apparent. A dragon is an idea that we have in our head. Me talking to you right now over the phone, that's not apparent. That's an actual fact because I'm here. We're here doing it. Dragons are not a fact. They're not apparent. You understand the difference between what's apparent and what's factual basis, correct?
What's actual? I didn't say it's factual. I said it's actual. It's an actual thing.
Actuals are factuals, my friend.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to get you to understand.
Okay, so how do we show that a soul exists? Because a soul is just an idea that we have. How do we show that it's factual?
Because your soul contains your consciousness. Your consciousness is what animates your body.
Hold on. Hold on. I asked you, how do we show that a soul exists? And your answer was because your soul does something. You need to show that the soul exists before you say that it does something. How does the soul? How do you show that the soul exists? How do you show that?
I said it. How are you experiencing your life? How are you walking around? How are you seeing? Touching,
consciousness.
Feeling,
my brain. My brain does all that.
Exactly where I'm getting to.
Okay, so our soul is the brain. Our soul is our brain.
Your soul.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on, guys. I do appreciate you all being here. Concepts do not need to be correct. Concepts do not need to be actual. All right, y'all. I do appreciate y'all here, man. I'm gonna go ahead and give a few shout outs, y'all. Shout out to Deconstruction Junction. Again, you guys are wonderful for always being here and always supporting me. So shout out to Deconstruction Junction. I do see some common names. If you're watching over on Deconstruction Junction, I go live Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I went on live a little earlier today because I just want to spend tonight with wifey. We're gonna be watching The Pit tonight. The Pit comes out at 9 o'clock, and I'm excited because The Pit is one of my favorite TV shows. So we're gonna go ahead and watch The Pit tonight. And she missed the entire Game of Thrones craze. So I got my lady into Game of Thrones. So after we watch The Pit, we're gonna watch another episode of Game of Thrones. So she's been loving it so far because she missed out on that phenomenon. So it's been exciting watching it again. So that's why I went on earlier tonight. So shout out to everybody who's watching me over on Deconstruction Junction. Remember, on Deconstruction Junction, I go live Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. For everybody who's watching me over on the Volcy Thoughts channel, I appreciate y'all and I love y'all. Y'all are blowing this channel up, and I appreciate that so much. I'm very, very close to being monetized. When I am monetized, we're going to be able to have some give goals. I'm going to be able to have members. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of special things over on the Volcy Thoughts channel. Y'all remember to please subscribe over there to the Volcy Thoughts channel. I appreciate y'all so much. Shout out to y'all there. Over on the Black Atheist Coalition YouTube. On the Black Atheist Coalition YouTube, if you are a Black atheist or agnostic, or you do content on skepticism, hit me up, inbox me, do any of that, because I want to give you access, make you an editor over on the Black Atheist Coalition. Once you're an editor there, you'll be able to upload your content. You'll be able to go live on it as well. So if you are a Black atheist, agnostic, spiritual person, a skeptic, or you're deconstructing, you do skeptical content, please hit me up so I can give you access to the Black Atheist Coalition. I can add you to the Discord as well. This year, probably the 4th week of June, we are going to have the Black Atheists, Agnostics, Skeptics, and Humanists Cookout. The B.A.A.S.H Cookout is going to be June this year in Central Florida. Now, I know a lot of y'all can't make it to Central Florida, but if you can make it to Central Florida, please come out. Next year, I'm going to probably do something special. I'm planning, if I can, if I'm able to do this full time, I will be doing a tour next year. So if y'all want me to, if y'all want the B.A.A.S.H Cookout to become a tour, I need this to be full time. All right, I need this to be full time. So that's the only reason I'll be able to do the B.A.A.S.H Cookout as a tour next year if I could do this full time. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get back to our call queue. Exactly, I do see you in the TikTok queue. I'm gonna talk to you first. 786. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you next. Right after I'll talk to Exactly. So go ahead and stay in the queue for me. I do appreciate you being there. All right. So Exactly, how's it going? Exactly. Are you at least 18? And can you give me a reason to believe in a God?
Yeah, I'm 18. I'm first and foremost, just so I don't interrupt you, I'm gonna make sure I mute my mic when you talk, just so it allows you to see. And I think the first issue with consciousness is like consciousness is not a tangible thing. You know, it's not something that you can feel, touch, smell, see. I mean, you could. I don't think you can really see consciousness. Like you could see the matter, you know. But I would argue. So here's a question that I have for you: if you go up to a tree, and this is gonna sound like a stupid question, but I'm gonna get to the point.
No, I'm not gonna let it marinate. That
shit
don't make no sense. I'm sorry. What was that again?
I'm saying if you something sounded like it was talking in the background. If you go up to a tree and say, "Do human beings exist?" Is that tree going to respond?
No, the trees don't have consciousness at least in the way that we have it.
Okay. So you would agree that the tree has limitations, correct?
Yeah, correct.
But you and I understand that we exist because we have the capacities that humans need in order to interact with one another.
Correct.
So if that is true for the dimensions of a tree, right, you would agree that we have a higher consciousness in the tree because we can do a lot more than the tree can do.
Yeah, for the purposes of this discussion, we could say that we have a higher consciousness. We can move, we can think
Right,
abstractly.
We can cook, we can drive, we can do a bunch of stuff.
Right. Trees don't have the neurons for that.
Okay, right. So what is to say that there's not something in an even higher dimension past us that we don't have the limitations that we have that give us the same limitations that a tree has to human beings?
That is possible. There could be life forms that exist in dimensions that we don't really understand yet, because we live in 3 dimensions and we're going through the 4th, right? But there could be people who live in the 4th dimension who live within time, and like there's a higher 5th dimension, right? That is possible. That's getting into more scientific-y woo stuff, right? But that could be possible. It's just at the time right now, we don't have any evidence that that's an actual thing. So we would actually need evidence that that's actually real before we go ahead and say that this is definitely the case. This is definitely real. I'm not saying what you're saying is impossible. There could be creatures that exist in 4th, 5th, 6th dimensions, things that we don't even have the concept to understand yet. That could be possible, right? But number one, we don't have evidence, and number two, if it did exist, how will we even know? Like for example, and we are very, very complicated to an ant, right? Ants and bees can never really understand exactly what we are because they don't have the brain capacity to do so. So like a higher 4th, 5th, 6th dimensional being, we may not have the brain capacity to understand that. So is there a way to say that they definitely exist? Not really, until they reveal themselves in a way that we can understand, right?
Well, see, and that's why I would disagree, because like when you look at a baby, for example, and I've given this example, within in the mother's stomach, right, it needs to develop Like there's something that has to happen within that stomach in order for it to have consciousness, for it to exist, right? Yeah, people can say like I saw somebody say you come from your mother and your father, but what the issue with that argument is you need a starting point. You need like who.
Whoop. He dropped out. I'm not sure why that happened, but he dropped out. All right. Forever Cristianos, I'm going to get to you next. I just got to go ahead and talk to 786 for a second because they've been patient. They did call in and they had to drop, but I'm going to go ahead and add them up right now. So Cristianos, I'm going to get to you next. And but I'm going to talk to 786. And y'all, Cristianos is going to be my last person because I'm going to get out of here at 8:30. Okay. So 8:30 is my time frame. And then I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. But 786, how's it going? Can I have your name, age, and do you think you can give me good reasons to believe in a God?
Good. My name is Roland. You know me. I'm Mikey. You remember my sister?
Mikey.
From MOC. Yeah, you remember.
Yeah, I remember Mikey. Mike, I haven't seen you in a minute, man. Like I was there at the I was like I said, like I told Jeff, I was at MOC, bro. I was at MOC this past New Year's, but I haven't seen
I didn't go. I actually haven't been to church in a minute. Man.
Yeah, I know you haven't been in a minute, man. How's your pops doing? By the way, how's your dad?
Good. Same old, man.
Same old.
Pretty good. So,
yeah,
man. I just decided to pop up. I was listening. Every now and then I see you talking, so I decided to actually call in.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so, but yeah, no, I feel where you're coming from. But to be honest, like for the average like Bible believer, they're kind of destined for failure. Because I'm gonna tell you why. When it comes to like these type of debates, because even in the Bible itself, they never approach people with scientific facts. They usually have faith. Like turn from your sin, have faith. They just come right at you with the "you should already know God is real" approach. Where so that's why when you have someone calling in and they're like, hey, I believe the Bible and the clouds and this and that, well, we're automatically destined for failure because there's a reason why it's asking us for faith. More of a belief thing is commanding it. So and that's not to say that I don't have an argument or a reason, because I just come at you with the whole gravity, sun, and science stuff, but I'm sure you already have your own rebuttal, like, for those things too, which is why I don't see like the average Bible believer winning an argument with science if they take the science approach. I think biblically it would have to be like the theological ideas, like Judgment Day and what he did on the cross. I think there's a reason why they come right at you with those things than look at the plants or the birds and stuff like that. I don't know if you feel where I'm coming from.
No, I understand exactly where you're coming from, because that's usually what happens. Like it's usually just like how you said, look at the trees and stuff like that, right? But it's like we can say look at the trees, believe in the Bible, and I can also say look at the trees, believe in voodoo. You know what I mean? So it's
exactly, yeah. You can come at there's always another rebuttal that can kind of combat the science, which is why I see why these guys in the Bible don't come at people with science. They usually come at, because I'm going to put it to you this way, the Bible ideas are ridiculous. Like God becoming flesh and doing this and this. All of that sounds bizarre. It sounds, so I think that's why he comes at you with like have faith, more of a faith, more faith. So maybe I don't have a actual scientific argument, but I just wanted to throw that out there, how they would probably approach this, like those guys that we read about.
Yeah, exactly. That's usually how they approach it. But Mikey, if that's it, we're not gonna go ahead and have any type of spirit discussion. That's cool. I'll definitely talk to you soon. Then, all right. I might be at MOC
definitely
come Easter, or whenever me and wifey have the ceremony. So definitely appreciate you though.
Okay, man. All right, man. All right, we're gonna talk then, bro.
Well, yeah, we'll talk soon. Appreciate you.
All right, bro.
All right, guys. The phone line is gonna be closed for now. No more phone calls, y'all. No more phone calls. I'm gonna go ahead and take this out of the thing. So we're not gonna have any more phone calls. I'm going to end this night off with Cristanos. All right, Cristanos, how's it going? Are you at least 18? And
Yeah,
did you
I'm
want to
over
give me a good
30.
reason to believe in a God?
Yeah, I'm over 30. I'm over 30. Yeah, your prompt says, give me a good reason to believe in your God. So I just want to be more specific and be in line with your topic. Are you asking to give reasons to believe in God or in my God? Like specifically the God I believe in. Which of them are you more precise on?
Specifically the one that you believed in, because like in any God is just like basically like kind of useless. So specifically the one that you believe in.
Oh, that too is still useful, and that could still be. I mean, if you're an atheist, then you just don't believe in any God, and you just think the idea of God doesn't make any sense. But if that too can, I mean, anyway, let's go with what you want particularly. So, I'm a Christian, and I believe in God and in Jesus as His Son, and so I think, and one of the reasons why I'm a Christian, and which I would try to present that to you, and I hope it makes sense, even if it doesn't compare you to believing. Yeah, it's that I believe that the pragmatic implications and applications of Christianity in the world from time past, time immemorial, even up to today, has helped humanity, either to restrain humanity from going down this degeneracy trajectory or self-destruct trajectory, and also to present to us a moral framework that, I mean, it's not like we have perfectly embodied this moral framework, but somewhat it's better than the alternatives.
So
almost more better than the alternatives, not even somewhat.
When you say better than the alternatives, I'm kind of struggling with what you mean. Like the alternative to believe in a God is just not believing, and nothing really happens if you don't believe. Some of the most non-religious societies out there are actually very, very peaceful societies. Now, you can say that's because they have better economies for one reason or the other, especially if they're in Europe. The European non-religious societies, a lot of them, they do have the advantage of the fact that they colonized basically the entire world, right? Especially Africa, and pilfered all of its resources. So you can say that's the reason why it's economically better. But then you have somewhere like Japan that is not as religious as we are, or at least not in the way that we understand being religious, and they're still a peaceful society. You see what I'm saying? So it shows that you do not need religion in order to advance or have a peaceful society. And as a matter of fact, a lot of the people who did push a religious or religion on or belief on society the most, they're the ones who held back society the most. You see what I'm saying? So is when you say is better than the alternative, I'm not really seeing how that's the case. I can give you that religion was important in order for civilization to get started. I can give you that, right? Because I do understand that, because if we all create a common culture, it's more advantageous for all of us to believe in the same God, or at least the same set of gods, right? So it's advantageous. So that's how religion kind of formed around it, right? Because it's advantageous to do that. That doesn't mean that it's now better for us to still keep on believing in things that don't have any evidence behind them.
All right, so I mean, I think you miss out on my argument I'm presenting. When I say better than the alternatives, I'm not saying religion is better than non-religiosity. I'm saying Christianity is better than every other thing, meaning every other religion different from Christianity, and even non-religiosity as well. So you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying, and that's what I said. It presents a moral framework, right? Which seem to me it will make the world a better place if we embody, or every society embody this moral framework. Right.
Okay.
So hypothetically, if the
question?
world could all, yes.
All right. So you said that if everyone embodies that moral framework, then society would be better. What you need to understand is that not everyone even agrees on what that moral framework would be. So you just can't put yours over everybody else's. But what I would say is that the moral framework that I have, for example, I have a moral framework of uplifting human well-being, equality, degrees of harm, and things like that, right? That those are my basically, and empathy, basic human empathy. That's kind of my moral framework. You know what I mean? I want to be as empathetic as possible. I want to uplift human well-being as much as possible, and I want to uplift equality as much as possible. If people embody that, wouldn't the world be better as well if people embody that?
true. If people embody what you're proposing, right, the world will be better. And I'm putting it to you that most of these humanist frame or these things you just mentioned, right, kind of like has its roots as well from the religious framework. I mean, from Christianity. Let me say religious from Christianity specifically. And the thing with Western society today is that we tend to think that Western society evolved from some abstract or emptiness. No, Western society as we know it today is rooted, is always has its roots in Christianity. And you can say, well, it evolved from Christianity and it's no longer Christian based, but most of the principles and the philosophy and ideologies that put the Western society together, things like egalitarianism, utilitarianism, all those things find their roots in Christianity, either in an explicit manner or some kind of implicit way, right? And
I disagree with that, because there were pre-Christian societies that had all those. For example, there were societies in Africa that had egalitarianism. Those societies in China that had egalitarianism. Chinese especially, they had egalitarianism. So it's like other societies outside of Christianity and societies that existed before Christianity, they had those, and they had to have them, otherwise they wouldn't have society. Like, societies have to be like egalitarian. It cannot
not
survive
necessarily,
without
and
it.
I can show that to you that it's not the case that societies always have to be egalitarian. I mean, egalitarianism, which is supposedly people having human rights and human value, is not the case if you throw back to 1,000 years ago, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I can
for the
agree with
most
that.
part
Yeah,
of the
you're
world,
right.
it's not the case
You're
at
right.
all,
You're right.
where you have slavery and things like that happening.
Exactly. No, exactly. You're right. But like, Christian societies all had slavery, so
Yeah,
it
okay.
wasn't Christianity that gave us egalitarianism.
True, Christian societies had slavery, right? And at the same time, Christianity and Christians were the one who fostered the abolition movement. Meaning, there's a part of Christianity that actually stands against slavery. If Christians were supposedly the ones who
There were Christians
stood against it.
There were Christians who stood against it, and there were also Christians who defended it. So Christianity doesn't really give you that standard moral framework that you're claiming, because the Southern Baptist Church in America, the reason why they split from the reason why they split from the mainstream Baptists is because the Southern Baptists believed in slavery, and they believed in slavery based on biblical texts. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't really give you a framework.
I'm not arguing that Christianity in its pragmatic sense is some kind of the absolutely best thing to ever happen or that can ever happen. What I'm saying is it's better than the alternative. So in this light, true Christians, let's say Christians, or true that Christians practice slavery and they also foster slavery in some ways, right? What I'm arguing for is that if everybody did slavery, including Christians, and then among everybody, Christians turn around, or some Christians, right, stood up against slavery, then that makes Christianity better than the alternatives. You see what I'm saying, right? If everybody did it, but including the Christians, and some Christian, or it started off as a Christian movement to stand against it, then that makes Christianity in some ways intrinsically better than the others. I think you get it, right?
But there were people in other religions who also were against slavery. There were Hindus against slavery. There were Muslims against slavery. There were, like, my peoples are from Haiti, right? The people who started the Haitian Revolution, they weren't Christians. They weren't voodoo. You know what I'm saying? So there were always people who stood against slavery. Christianity is not the one. One thing, when you said it's better than the alternative, not exactly, because you can still find moral frameworks that you find in Christianity in any religion or walk of life, and none of them have to have. Actually, none of them actually have their roots within Christianity. You can find moral frameworks in Hinduism, and Hinduism existed before Christianity. So it's not one of those things where you can kind of claim that Christianity has a moral sacrosanct over all of them. It really doesn't.
Okay. Again, true. You can make that. You can say that, which is true. I agree with you, right? You can find elements of Christianity which probably transcends Christianity itself in other circles, other faiths and ideologies. I agree with you, but I think holistically, right, if you consider Christianity and every part of it, both the parts that are common to other ideas or other religious sects or other ideologies, and the parts that are unique to itself, if you put all together, I think it makes it's if the world should embody these ideas and philosophies, it will make the world a better place. I mean, let me ask you this, right? Which ideas or maybe philosophy or religion in the world kind of promotes this idea of of somebody laying back when they are offended, or forgive. Maybe let me not even go with forgiving. Like somebody laying back when they are offended, or even being willing to suffer even when they are offended.
What do you mean?
There's a teaching of Jesus Christ which is somehow metaphorical, where he says when somebody spank you on one cheek, turn the other side for the person to spank you. Which
turn the other cheek.
Yeah, it's trying to show people that there's no point in avenging or in vengeance, right? Like vengeance is not something which should be promoted.
Yeah, pacifism.
Do you think that's a good thing or something that's a bad thing?
It depends. Depends on the situation. But yeah, pacifism existed before Christianity.
I'm not saying it. Pacifism existed before Christianity. True. I'm saying, look, Christianity doesn't have this. It's not something which is Christianity is not something which is something. If God exists and God supposedly gave us Christianity, then it's not like Christianity and the moral frameworks in Christianity is not something we should only be it's not something which should only exclusively be Christian. No, it's something which, if God exists and transcends Christianity itself, then this thing should already be around even before Christianity, right? And the way Christianity is even presented to us is that morality is even written on our heart. It's not like it's packaged in a book. It's first primarily written on our hearts before even presented in a book or enforced through a book.
Okay, cool. How do you show that's true?
How do you show that's true?
Yeah, how do you show that what Christianity prescribes to humanity was written in our hearts by the God of Christianity? How do you show that's true? Because it
just depends. If you find correlation, if we find correlation with what the book or Christianity as a framework, which is a Bible, right? Or the Bible as a framework. If you find correlation between what is in there and what is already in human heart or human conscience, or which is already a feature, a trait in human being, right? Then I think that would imply that there's some kind of either a causation or just maybe some random correlation, right? So it's either that the person who created the book also did write it in our heart, right?
But correlation is not causation. Just because
I'm saying it will imply either a causation or just a random correlation. I didn't say it automatically. Which is a 50-50 chance.
Right.
So I don't think you should write that out. That
right. It's not really a 50-50 chance. This could just be some people who were like philosophizing, right? Like they saw that people are empathetic and it's good to be empathetic, so they must have a God must have written in our hearts to be empathetic. That could they could just be one of the few people who wrote that down. That doesn't necessarily mean that what Christianity prescribes for humanity is necessarily what the God of Christianity put into humanity. That there's no real connection there. It's like that's a non sequitur.
I think my argument is like from the way we actually establish it, right? It's I'm presupposing that Christianity is, or the God of Christianity is the author of the Bible. I'm presupposing that. I mean, I don't, unless you want me to go back, start showing or making, which I don't think your prompt here kind of entails that, right? It's just probably why you should believe in my God, right? I'm just trying to present a case why you should believe in my God. I'm showing you that the Bible seems to have this moral framework which is in correlation with human nature, right? It's in correlation with human nature, and
right. But so does the Quran, the Torah, the Bhagavad Gita, the scrolls of Taoism, all of them.
So do you think there's nothing exclusive in that makes Christianity exclusive from other religion?
Like as far as what? Like as far as its claims?
As far as its morality, its claims, and every other thing.
No,
so you have the elements of Christianity that makes it exclusive from other religion, right?
No. They all preach self-sacrifice. They all preach harmony within humanity. They all preach the same thing.
I mean, on a general, you can say that generally, but if you go down to specifics, I think you find differences, right? Which makes it totally exclusive.
Right. The only thing I can find that could be exclusive is Jesus claiming to be the savior of the planet. I don't know if any other religion has said that, but
I think
really,
if I'm not mistaken, Hindu. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not very sure. I have a Hindu classmate, and we used to talk about stuff like this once in a while. And she told me, is it Hindu or Buddhist? Something like one of those two. But she told me in their religion, they have no concept of a deity. They instead have some kind of framework which helps them to live in harmony with the environment and
that's Buddhism, right? Buddhism doesn't have a concept of a deity. They have paranormal, but don't have a deity.
yeah, so you see how different these things can be, right? Which makes it exclusive. It's not like they're all saying the same thing. Religion can be in some ways exclusive.
Right. So
In fact,
Buddhism doesn't have a deity, but Shintoism and Hinduism have deities, and they also preach harmony and stuff like that. So it's not really excluded. Like I said, the only thing that really is exclusive to Christianity is that, you know, Jesus claimed to be the son of the supreme God. Yeah, I mean, that's really the only difference between that one and most of them. But all of them claim to have, you know, prophets that came from the heavens and to spread towards, you know, the earth. They all claim that. Yeah, I mean, so it's like I'm not really sure what makes Christianity that much different.
I mean, okay, but okay, let's leave it at that. Let's shift to now the pragmatic implications of it, right? Do you think, don't you see a difference in it, right? In the sense that Christianity is similar.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Y'all appreciate y'all because it's 8:30 and I gotta go ahead and leave. I do appreciate the conversation. Once again, shout out to everybody who's watching me over on the Deconstruction Junction. You guys again are amazing. Y'all wonderful. Y'all have been able to grow my channel and able to grow this show, and I really appreciate that. Mick Time, you're always here, Mick Time, and I appreciate you always being here, Mick Time, to keep the conversation going. To go ahead and always be here to be in the chat, to drop the likes. You're wonderful. Resist over on my YouTube channel. Resist is a great moderator of mine. Shout out to Tahir as well. She's another good moderator. You guys are wonderful. You're always here to keep the likes going, keep the chat going. We did get to 9.8K likes. Tomorrow, let's get to 10K likes, y'all. Excuse me. Tomorrow, let's get the 10K likes. I'm gonna have the phone lines open again tomorrow. If you watched over on my Facebook, I appreciate you watching over on my Facebook. You guys are wonderful over there as well. You can also subscribe to the Twitch. If you haven't subscribed to the Twitch yet, go ahead and subscribe to my Twitch. I'm gonna open up my own personal Discord soon. It's gonna be called The Congregation. Once I open up that congregation, of course, I'm going to go ahead and send out the invites for everybody to talk and give new subjects that I can talk about. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. It is 8:30, so that's going to be the end of the live. Once again, like I say all the time, for everybody, remember to always be soft. That means be smart, be observant, remember your fallibility, and always remain thoughtful. All right. Next weekend, unfortunately, my family member, my cousin, Charlize, she passed away. 2 days ago, she passed away. So next week is her funeral. So I'm not going to be on next week because I'm going to be down in Miami with my family, of course. We're going to be saying goodbye to my cousin. Check your health. Everybody, check your health because you never know what it's gonna be. You never know what happens. All right, you never know what's going. Like anything that could happen to you can. Anything that you are, that you just don't know. Just check your health because it could be the smallest thing to take you out. All right, because you never know what's going on in your body, and all of a sudden, you know, you're gone now. All right. So next week, I'm not gonna be on because my cousin, here she is right here, has unfortunately passed away. And I'm gonna have to say goodbye to her. So that's what's gonna be going on next week. I'll be back probably. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be back that Sunday. I may take that entire week off. So I may take all of next week off, y'all. So it's that's basically what's gonna be happening. I appreciate y'all being here. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Love you all. Y'all all have a good night, okay? And I'll check your health. Check your health. All right. So I appreciate y'all.